Hey there, welcome to The Greater Good. I'm Matthew Dykes. This is our fifth episode. We're still going strong. We did take a little bit of a hiatus for the last few weeks because we had a ton of projects that we had to get finished before I can do my own stuff. So I am Matthew Dykes with Guerilla Media and The Greater Good. We are a show about positivity. We're a show about hope. We're a show about perseverance because you can't have any of that stuff unless you persevere and continue and keep moving forward. And today we're going to keep moving forward. And we're here with Connor and we're here with Caleb and
Colin.
Colin. See,
Colin.
I was close though. I was so close. So we're here with Colin and Caleb, and they're with Perfect Sequence. And that is a band. If you're not aware, you should be. But if you're not, we're going to make sure to have up on the screen where you can go find them and you can listen to their music. But really, more important than their music, we want to know who they are. And we want to get to know them and what makes them tick. And they've got a few special things that they do that we can't wait to share and talk to you guys about leaving the world better than they found it. And so, with that, I'm going to toss it over to Caleb. And instead of me introducing, I've just talked to them about this. Hey, you can tell your story better than me, so I'm going to shut up now and right over to Caleb. Where does this all start for you? Who are you? Where are you from? And tell people why they should care about that.
Well, hello, Matt. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Caleb. I'm based out of Florida. I was born in Peru, in Lima, city with 9 to 11 million people. I came here when I was 11, and I'm a musician, and I sing and play rhythm guitar for Perfect Sequence.
Beautiful. All right, Colin.
Thank you for having us on the show, Matthew. My name is Colin Stephen Oakes. I'm from Orlando, Florida originally. I'm currently based in Fort Myers. I play lead guitar for Perfect Sequence. I've been in the band for quite a few years now. I've been playing guitar for almost half my life, and this is just my dream job right here. I'm glad to be doing this every day.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome when you get to wake up and go, I'm doing exactly what I was put on this planet to do." It's kind of a liberating feeling to say the least. So, you guys are in a band together. You're the guitarist, you're the lead singer,
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And you play rhythm guitar.
I play rhythm guitar.
So, talk to me about what's the type and style of music that you guys play, and where did you come up with that style? Like, who are your influences, and what's kind of the presence that you guys want to put out there?
Got it. Well, there's influences that we share, and then there's influences that we have shown share with each other that we didn't know we would like uh, to put into perfect sequence because we found our niche on pop punk, alternative rock, grunge music, 90s based contemporary rock music, basically. That's what we've been writing up until this point. But why don't you elaborate on that, Colin?
Yeah. For the majority of the time, the band has been alternative rock and pop punk, but it's like it really all changes as the years go by, as the music evolves. Like sometimes it tends to get a little more rhythmic than the next. Sometimes it gets a little more hard rock than the next. Like I tend to bring in like a lot more classic rock influences into the alternative realm of this band. So it's a lot more diverse when you add like all these extra influences based on like the timeline of like
Mhm.
rock and roll in general. It's never ending.
So, give me an example of a similar sound or sound inspiration from the '70s and '80s. That early. What was some of the sounds that you guys like from then?
Oh yeah. Re- really, like, even for me, it's like it really is based on like a lot of the classic 70s hard rock bands, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, AC/DC. But I even like listen to everything from, it's like even like Cher to the Bee Gees um to like Donna Summer. Like it doesn't even
Right,
matter. It's
right.
like anything that we could possibly bring in there.
Yeah. Well,
I
good music's good music.
I personally stand with singer songwriters, and I love bands, but I have got to give it to a lot of different artists. That, for example, I'm a fan of Sting. I'm a fan of Stevie Nicks, and I know of their work prior to Fleetwood Mac back in the early 70s. Um, I think these crafts resonate with me because it's something that I listened to back in the radio when I was a child. And then once I decided I want to be a musician, I started looking back at my, I guess, baby steps, if you will. And that's why one of my influences are basically what I listened to the radio and when I was in Peru. You know, Tom Petty, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Fleetwood Mac, AC/DC, and so on.
So I'm a 90s guy. That was when I was graduating high school and going to college in the 90s. So I'm very familiar with, well, we went from, it was a weird transition that I paid a lot of attention to because a lot of people know that I'm a singer and a bass player. I'm the world's okayest bass player, but I'm a great singer. Anyway, just like with my sister, she says, "Well, you're the world's okayest brother." So that's kind of how we are. But yeah, I mean, I watched as a genre morphed into a new genre. So we had that '80s punk. Loved that '80s, late '80s punk kind of style. But also there was the big hair craze of the mid to late '80s, right?
Yes.
And thank God for it because I love that music and it's a lot of fun. It's a
Oh
lot of fun
yeah.
to
Yes, yes, it
play.
is.
Yes.
It's so much fun to sing. But then that we saw that morph into when Nirvana hit the scene and came out with Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it was just this incredible sound that just blew us all away. And then, when as a musician in that time period, you saw people choosing sides. I mean, it was like it was crazy
It's
to
like you had to
see
be
that.
in like one corner or the
Or
other,
the other.
like at
That's it. And
times, you
if
know.
you liked any of that music, you were not allowed to cross the line and
Right.
and really talk about that music or play that music or be involved in a band that was in that music. Because man, seriously, they were brutal about it. But then you got
Turf fight.
yeah, yeah, it totally was, man. It's like what? Yes, but it was crazy. And
Minus the hand signs.
yeah. So, but then when you had Pearl Jam and
Oh,
Soundgarden,
Pearl Jam.
and they started to expand, and then you started to see that punk enter into that grunge alternative side of it,
Yes.
and so it just created this amalgam of music that was just so cool to see that kind of transpire and see the evolution of it.
Mhm.
So it when you guys say that you're alternative and punk and pop, that is another evolution and amalgam of just so many different styles. How do you really, how do you create that sound in a way that isn't confusing, but really gets to the heart of the matter? I mean, obviously for you, it's lyric driven, right?
Yes. So when I was a child and I started studying lyrics, I used to do this weird thing where I would listen to music that I loved and I would write down the lyrics by hand just so that I could dissect it. And so what I would do is I would try to read it or create my own lyrics rather than asking or looking it up on a CD cover or the little booklet. And I think that it helped me understand a connection between metaphor and message or analogies used. Also, just slang and how to say something shorter. Kind of like earlier before this, we're talking about School of Rock, and I think Jake in the movie says, "Rock has no reason, rock has no rhyme," and then um, Jack Black's character says, "How about we change it to rock got no reason, rock got no rhyme," and it makes it more sticky,
Mhm.
more palatable,
More
more
hooky.
hooky.
Yeah.
So I thought by writing those things and I'm not really understanding how now at a later age I have that ability to, thank God I have that ability to write and think, you know what? I think the lyric would be delivered with much more emphasis, much more fun of an element, and more sticky if I write it differently. like if I use a shorter word for it, and so on. And I think that that's something that influenced me a lot, is just listening from a lyric standpoint and from a singing standpoint. I love Pearl Jam. You mentioned it, and it's like I 10 to this day is one of my favorite albums, like top 5 favorite albums. And I really I hold them up there with Foo Fighters. Um but yeah, we share those influences, and then Colin said he has his own as a guitar player. That's an attribute that I have struggled tremendously with achieving. I don't at all presume to be a good guitar player. I'm good at writing music and writing riffs. I love them, and I'm pretty proud of them. But I have no coordination of a lead guitar player whatsoever, whatsoever.
But that's why there's rhythm. That's why
Yeah,
there's rhythm.
Exactly. Yeah. It's basically like a football team. You know, being in a band.
Yeah.
You know, it's like like literally every member like has like their own duty and their own talent, bringing the whole system together. Because like Caleb said, he's very amazing at like writing songs and singing and writing really great hooks. I'm okay at that. I've never been like a much of a songwriter. I'm good at singing. I'm good at playing chords, but when it comes to like lead guitar playing, I tend to be pretty diverse. You know, it's like anything Caleb can write down like on an acoustic guitar. I just like say, oh, just like put it over that. You know, because I'm very well indelved in theory and scales and modes. So I just really like anything that's like if you give me a good rhythm, just like let me take it home and play around with it, and then it's like boom, you know.
Our very own Brian May.
Hey,
Thank you.
that's a huge compliment, man. Definitely. So with your collaboration like that, would you say that your lyrics drive and then you get to the coming up with a riff or a chord, or is it you come up with a chord, or it just you just never know when that inspiration is going to strike you, and you just kind of are like, hey man, you got to hear this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like that. We don't have an order
Yeah.
of doing things, and we don't really believe in like a hierarchy of songwriting. We I think that we do it in an order of arrival. Like
Mhm.
very much someone comes up with a riff, and if it does sound like it's perfect sequence, then if it's not mine, then I'll try to help with the singing. But if it's mine, then probably I already came up with a singing melody, and then it's just that. And then it needs to grow. It's just in its embryonic state. And so then we listen to it, we start playing, we figure out what the beat's gonna be, what the bass line's gonna be, and does it have a chorus? Is it the chorus, or is it something else? Is it just the intro, or is it the outro? And how do we get there?
Or is it
Like,
the bridge or the melody line?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where
It's like
where are we
how
going
do
to
we
fit
get
this
there?
in? Because we
Yeah.
love it, but where are we going to put it?
One thing, one element that I will say about my songwriting that I feel fortunate about is that when I come up with a riff on guitar, typically it tells me what energy it has, and then I add just shooting from the hip, I add the singing melody, and then both together tell me whether it's a love song, a hate song,
Hate
standing up
song.
for yourself, a sad song, or is it political? Is it about existentialism? Is it about partying? You know, whatever it is it about regret? And at that point, it gives me this creative compass to be able to go back to my poems that I write, because I like writing poems, and fetch the most fitting uh, topic, basically.
Sure.
And then I share it with the guys, and then we have an idea. We know this song is to make people jump smiling, or want to, you know, destroy everything, and like and really is aim at their frustrations. Whatever it is, it's like then we start collectively putting it together. So our solos by Collins's Grace will be um focus, will have that spirit of, oh, I said an angry song that I'm going to give you something melodic but angry. I said a happy song that I'm going to give you something happy but also melodic and also shreddy.
Mhm.
it's just all about the
It's
feel of
genius.
it, you know. It's like that's how that's how uh that's how we keep it going.
Well, I think that's probably the most organic way to approach music and to make it organic and let your feelings come out. And there's a lot of fear in doing that for some songwriters and for musicians, I think, because they're exposed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's what separates good songs and good songwriters from great ones is they're okay with exposing their true self
Yeah.
to the audience. And when you do that, you find out, hey, you have a tribe out there. You're not
Mhm.
alone. And so that's what music's like, right? So, I mean, it sounds like you guys have a great collaborative process. You've been working together for how long now?
Uh, quite a few years. So the band has been playing live for 6 years now, and with Colin, we've been together for over three,
Three
So,
and a half. Yeah.
how did you guys
almost
get
four.
connected? And what was kind of that moment where you're like, okay, we've got something here?
It really all just came naturally. You know, it's like same way bands have always done. It's like you just like hang out in the local scene. You know, you go to clubs, you go to bars, you hang out with your friends like after school, after college and whatnot. Drink a couple of beers, you see new bands, and you say like, "Hey, how's it going? What's your name?" And it's like I met this guy over at a place called Ponya Bell, and I saw his band playing, and he's a former drummer at the time, and I we went to college, and then we just naturally we liked each other's style of music, and the next thing I know, I ended up auditioning for the band, and he was like, "Hey, you want to be in the band?"
He said yes.
Yes.
Good. I think that was a good answer, right? So where, what kind of places do you guys play? I know you guys play out a lot. I know, and I do want to talk about, I want to touch on the recording studio and your projects that you guys are working on. But what type of gigs are you guys playing now? And what type of gigs are you working towards?
Well, we are very happy to say that at this point we've played festivals, we've toured, we have played small pubs, big pubs, venues. We played at Broadway Palm Festival in Northport, as well as places where we have seen our legends play live, like the High Dive in Gainesville or the Orpheum in Tampa.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a nice um, intimate family in Southwest Florida, and there's a concentration of venues in Cape Coral, places like Nice Guys, Ollie's, Rackham's. We play there as well, but at this point, we're just very happy. We've played for NPR a couple of times actually, and in the reach is has shown. So we're just very fortunate about that.
Well, and so I want to know how much you guys attribute that to maybe, we talked about this earlier in the green room,
Mhm.
karma. And you guys have and are proud to say, and I'm proud to say, because I've heard, I listened to those two songs that you sent me, and you guys decided that you're gonna the majority of your songs are gonna be positive in nature and inspirational and give people hope.
Mhm.
Um, it's still got that great feel and those rhythm sections and great lyrics, but being focused on the positivity, do you think that that has something to do with type of success? And why did you make that decision?
Okay, well, when I thought about being in a band, I thought about what resonated with me the most and what I have always loved about music and particularly bands is that at times where I needed something in lyrics or something to release stress or to inspire me, there were songs that catered to that. There were songs that offered that by other people. And so it made me very determined to try my best to provide that and to find the right people, like-minded people to deliver that. And when you grow up, you see things. You start realizing that there's certain topics that can be worked on in society that can use some attention, and so we decided that it would be cool for us to, just like a lot of other acts, wait until you're more successful to be able to do your part. But it would be great and more cool to just do it as you are growing from your very baby steps. So we decided that we weren't going to shy away from um, making music videos that would cater to the message within the songs in the name of being there for other people in the in the community, and really speaking to topics like mental illness awareness, or poverty, homelessness, cancer, putting yourself in other people's shoes, social equality, and so we decided to just basically gamble on that. And I think that with no real objective of getting anything back from us, but really being ourselves. We don't shy away from talking about it casually at a pub or at a coffee shop, or with our friends at a bonfire or whatever. So what makes it not okay for us to write about it and to put it out in a music video? So we just did it.
What do you hope what do you hope really comes from that? I mean, you touched on that, and actually, I'm gonna have, you call and answer that. What I know that you since you guys don't have, like, well, we're not trying to really accomplish one set goal, but what do you hope that being willing to share that messaging, what do you hope that that does for your listener and for your fan?
Really, with any artist, just finding some kind of like connection with the fans. You know, it's because it's like when you listen to a band, it's like they always like tend to say something, or you hear something that you just like naturally internally connect with. And then it's like when we write these songs, like whether they're listening to the lyrics, whether they're listening to the melodies, etc., it's just about like finding that framework of being able to find a core with the mentality of the average fan. It's definitely not it's definitely not an exact science on how that's done, but when you're writing music and just doing it, not being afraid to like go for it, like something does kind of like happen. It's like a seed, and it's like if you pour enough water on it, it does tend to like grow and blossom into like something you wouldn't expect. And
Mhm.
that's how we try to strive ourselves.
Yeah, it's one personal, I guess, personal gratification that I would get from it is I love to talk to artists after a concert and tell them how specific this specific song helped me at a certain point. And I think that it's like when you have a conversation with a friend or with someone that ultimately becomes a friend, and they say, "I needed that," thank you for saying that. I really needed that, and I'm glad that we met, or I'm glad that we talked about it. I'm glad that I got to know that side of you, that you share that opinion with me, or that has happened to you as well. Now I don't feel alone. And so Perfect Sequence puts out shows and moves like crazy, trying to put on a good time, engage with people, and make you dance and party. But that is also um, carrying a lyrics and melodies that really try to deliver a message, that in the hope that people connect to it at an emotional level, and that help them feel understood.
We
Well, and
definitely
I think that's where a good hook comes in, right? And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
that's the importance, that's not a word. That's the
Importance.
importance.
It is
Thank
now.
you. That's right. I'm not perfect, people. Uh, so that's where the importance, man, my English teacher is just loving me today. Um, but that is kind of where the importance of that comes from, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's just and really the importance of being organic and having being open to having opportunities to share great things, bad things, happy things, sad things, but then hoping that, like you said, they connect and they resonate, and and they grow into something. So that's the importance of having a message. And I guess as a songwriter and a singer, I mean, one of the hopes that you hope that, well, me, I always love to see someone singing something back
Yes.
that you wrote,
Yes,
Uh-huh.
exactly. That's always the
even
biggest thing
though
we love.
it may or may not mean the same thing to them as it did to you. It struck a chord, like you said.
Yeah.
It struck a chord with them.
Well, art is subjective. So when you put something on a canvas, you let the crowd, the viewer, really decide what it means to them. So if I sing about um, self fulfillment or growing up, and I have my own story, but then if you listen to it and the song becomes one of your favorite songs by Perfect Sequence, then I wanted to mean something to you at a personal level. I wanted to make you think about how you grew up and what memories it made you think about. Well, I have my own memories that I thought about when I wrote it.
They all really like all the different songs. It's like every listener that we have, it's like they all have like their own signature song. But it's like some of them might like the little more upbeat songs. They might like the more sullen songs. You know, it gets them through the breakup. And then some of them even tell us like, oh my god, it's like the song's a great one to work out to. So I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. We recently been well, so some people tell me about it and mention, why do you start with a breakup song or a heartbreak song and your set list? And recently we've been doing that. It's a song called Chemicals. And it's a fun song still to start the set list with, regardless. So there's people that like feeling that way, like energized by some sort of heartbreak or energized by something that they have experienced years back, but they can listen to it and they can still, bang their heads to and get hooked onto it. Just because it's something that may carry something that might be difficult of a topic doesn't mean that the song can be fun.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, and I think that that'll resonate
Yeah.
with listeners as well. That's a good plan there. As far as so, do you share this stuff with your artists and projects that you work on with your recording studio as well, or do you guys just provide a space and people come in? I mean, what's that relationship like there?
When it comes to Raynart
Hmm.
Sound Studio, well, it's so the company itself is multimedia and marketing. It's Raynard Productions, but Raynard Sound Studio is both a home for Perfect Sequence for us to track and for us to produce music, as well as other artists in the area and clients that might be looking for things like voiceover and so on. But artists that we have had the delight of having over either have, they have the freedom to say, I need a place to track, and just you put on the recording engineer hat, and you give them what they want. Or if they feel like they could use a bit of an input, or they would like to collaborate and have me, you know so graciously ask me to to be their producer, then I'll do that, and I'll put in my 2 cents, and I'll try to deliver it in the style that Caleb delivers a song, right? But at the end of the day, it's their song. It's been pretty fun with Reynard Sound, because I've had we've had a friend musician of ours, Gwen McMillan, who has she's a folk singer, acoustic, and a song called "Light a Candle" by her was something that I really thought about for so often. I think it was one of my favorite songs prior and to recording it with her. But you sometimes experience things like that come your way, come to your studio, and you're like, oh, I'm a fan of this product. And then some others that you are just happy to be able to work with someone to get them to be happy with it. I think at the end of the day is we do have, it's a creative space to take a vision into fruition. That's basically the message behind it. And when it comes to some clients, yeah, they may want my input, they may not, but I'm just happy as long as they're happy at the end.
Yeah, I think, and that's part of the collaboration process, right? Is
Yeah.
like, look, I'm happy to help and I'm open to helping, but you got to let me know,
Yeah.
because if you're struggling with something, especially with a lyric or with a riff, hey, let me know and let's work on it together. And really, it's not even about, oh well, I need to get credit for that.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
it's about being the part of the team, and together we all achieve more. It's something I talk about all the time. Is um, one of the driving forces in my life is that team aspect. Together,
Yes.
everyone achieves more. And
Exactly.
so that's, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's why, the greater good is one of my things. I want to talk about the team. There's a team of us all out there that are trying to affect the greater good in a positive way.
Yes.
And you're doing that for musicians, you're doing that for clients, and you're doing that with, with yourself, for your fans. So I think that those are all admirable things, and I'm grateful that you guys do that, and that you've
Thank
made
you.
that decision to do that. And do you feel that? So, are you at the pinnacle for the dream, or how far do you want to take it?
There's no limit. There's no limit, and
There's no end, like, at
yeah,
all.
there's we're not stopping at anything, and we are shooting for the stars. Whatever it is that God, the universe, allows us to achieve, we're in for it. We're happily going to take it, and I think that it's something that we love the most about that having that ambition is that we have seen it over the course of the few years that we've been putting out music videos with a message to make people aware of certain topics and to do our part is that the bigger the crowd, the larger the reach, the more people we can have these conversations about that actually mean something to them, and organizations that may want a band to contribute to playing a festival, playing a show in the name of suicide awareness or cancer or maybe a fundraiser for a cause, and we're there, and being able to continue growing gives us the hope that we can continue to contribute in a larger way. So
How do you how do you quantify that? I mean, as far as giving back to your community, what are some of the things that you hope go back into the community from you guys doing that?
Just like basically like maybe like a lot of money raised, like Caleb said, for like cancer and mental health awareness, even just like even like relief shows for like Ian and victims of a suicide and even rape and domestic abuse. But we really all just we always love just like playing shows and like being involved in events that help just like give back to that certain category, and just
yeah,
not being afraid to say, hey, it's like we're here to help, and we use our art like not just for entertainment but just for good causes.
yeah,
So just anything that can come up that we can contribute, that even has like even a small sense of live aid to it, hit us up. That's what we're here
yeah.
for.
Some people say that we're very happy-go-lucky. We have a way of doing things, and we're more like in the movie Yes Man. You can tell I love film.
No, that's
Opportunities.
not a bad
It's
thing.
like
You're talking my language.
I'll take that opportunity. I'll do it and see how I can do my part, and hopefully maybe how gratifying it can be, both for the soul and for the growth of your project. But we shoot from the hip in in that sense. We have goals that we set out by looking at how larger of a crowd we can get, or how more people can tune into something, or if there's a need in society at the moment, then that stays in our minds, and we think, well, we have this song. How about we cater to this topic and we talk to people through it? We Perfect Sequence talks to people through this medium, this music video, this festival, and so on. So we like doing that. We don't necessarily organize it, but if we see it pass by and people, people humble us with their interest, we're going to take it, and we're going to say, yeah, we stand for that, and we want to talk about it, and we want our friends and our following to know that, and hopefully we'll be able to let more people know that that's the type of band that they're parting to.
So, with that in mind, and this is for both of you, um, what's your why? I mean, what is that fuel that drives you to do this and want to do that?
I think in the beginning, it's like if you're talking like the whole picture, like it really just starts out with just like a spark. It's like you listen to a good song, maybe you watch like a concert video, maybe you go to a concert and all that. And then you just start naturally doing it. Maybe you get better as a musician, maybe you get better as a songwriter. But then as it develops, like the older you get, like when you become more of an adult, you start to think, oh my God, there's like better causes that we can use this for. It's like when you really like delve into the actual craft of it, you become like, oh my God, it's not just about like woos and
Mhm.
like getting people to like you and like getting free drinks and whatnot, but just like really just thinking like, oh my God, it's like you have a bad experience. Maybe somebody else has a bad experience. Maybe you're dealing with such issues. Like the only way you can really like get it out, like in some way just to like make you feel better, make someone else feel better, just like put it on
Mhm.
a song and just like get it through that. Sometimes it just happens naturally. Sometimes it just goes through like your head as you create the process. But really like art is subjective, but like art is very, very
Mhm.
deep. It's like you just don't have any care of like delving into it. Just say what's on your mind and help people and communicate through that.
Mhm. My why would be, I feel for everybody when it comes to your development. We've all been teenagers, we've all been children, and so we have different stories. I love that about humanity, but there's also something that we should be aware of, that I myself have my own story. I'm not from here. Originally I'm from Peru. I had to start from zero. I've been discriminated, I've been jumped, a lot of people don't know that. And as a kid, not even a teenager, um, for not speaking the language and things like that, right? I'm not the only person with a dysfunctional family, or I'm not the only person with thoughts of giving up at some point in my life, right? And who goes through difficult things. But when I was feeling that way, when I was very much, uh, you know, deep into those issues, or thinking about why is it that these things happen, music was there to help me out. Music was always there to make me feel like, okay, there's a better day, or okay, there's people that are going through the same, or like, yeah, you know what, this may be going on, but so what? I can, I still have myself, or I still have my family, I still have my friends. I Yes, I'm an outcast. Yes, I'm not popular, or whatever it is it may be, right? But my why would be, well, because that's humanity for you. We put out how we feel, and in an unadulterated way, so that people can connect. And if we can help other souls by doing that, that's even better.
Yeah, connections a real important part of just everything that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world to, number one, know your why sometimes, because sometimes you get down into projects and you're like, why am I doing this again?
Mhm.
But there's two sides to every coin, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it all is based on your perspective. So it's deciding, how am I going to look at this? Am I going to look at this and look at all the negatives and accentuate all the negatives, or am I going to accentuate all the positives here? And really being able to look at something objectively and go, okay, so if I continue to focus on all these the bad things that are happening to me right now,
Yes.
uh, all that's going to continue to happen, you're going to continue to give that energy, and you're going to continue to focus on that. And so, like by you guys writing this music, and to be able to look at these circumstances in a positive way, and go, hey, yeah, but there's an upside to everything. Look, you're still alive, you're still breathing. That means you have an opportunity
Yes.
to make it better. Today could be better.
Yeah.
And how could it be better? Well, let's just start looking at that. And when you start to focus that energy that way, it really does do a major shift. And this is not something that is just inherent to all of us, right? I mean, we're not just I mean, there are some people, and sometimes they're maddening because they're always positive, they're always smiling, they never have a bad day. But you know what those people do, and but they've made a personal choice. They've decided, you know what, no matter what today, I'm going to go ahead, and no matter the bad or the good, I'm going to look at the good and I'm going to focus on that positive and what I can do to spread that out for others. And I think
Yes.
that you guys are doing that, and I applaud you for doing that. And
Thank you.
I will encourage you to keep doing that, because I think that success, where success breeds success, positivity breeds positivity. And call it
Yes.
faith, call it luck, call it karma. That's a movie line, by the way. And if you know that movie line, I would love for you guys to put that down in the comments and tell me which one, because you will have won something. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know what we'll give away, but we'll do something about that. But um, since you guys have done that, there has been, you've seen the success and it's continued to grow. What Tell me about one of the best times that you guys have had going through this process.
Recording our latest record. Um,
What's the latest record?
the one that we have out already is Defiance, and we were able to work for the first time with producers and mixing engineers in and mastering engineers in California, and that was like a big win because it really made us feel as musicians, as um, artists that are aspiring to continue growing, that now we are collaborating with people that have made things that we look up to um, before we became musicians as listeners, right? We work with Mauer Applebaum in California on mastering our latest record, and he's worked with Faith No More, amongst
Yes,
other
Dream
bands.
Theater. Yes,
Yes.
as in the band.
So to us, it makes us feel a bit more tenure, and it allows us to continue growing that confidence to put out even better material time after time after time. And that, and what I mentioned before, which is we've rocked out at places where our basically idols have played at. We played at the High Dive, and when we saw it the first time that we went to play, we I felt, I think I'm speaking for the guys. We looked at the pit, we looked at the stage, and we thought, okay, this feels like arriving, getting back home from a very long trip,
Yeah.
and you're getting reacquainted to where you feel you belong. And it's sort of like a nostalgia, like getting reacquainted with that side of you that you knew was there. And it just makes you feel so fortunate, really makes you feel like, yeah, okay, this feels like home. And I didn't know how it felt, but now it doesn't feel like something that alienates you. It makes you feel like something that gives you a sense of belonging. And I think that has been one of our biggest achievements, is being able to play on stages where we looked up to people that and they played there prior, like the Orpheum in Tampa too.
It really puts like adrenaline like in your gut. It's like it's an amazing feeling. Yeah, the best part of this band, like to me, was first of all joining the band. Thank you.
No,
That
and
helps.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
No, thank you.
and yeah, it's like when we made Defiance, like that was actually like my very first real recording process, and like to this day, it's like my most proudest because like that was like the first time this band had like lead guitar on it. It was like putting guitar solos. Like I really love expanding and like writing, and then of course like playing live, like playing shows, like especially like newer places, like when we go out of town, that's always amazing. And really just writing and recording, it's like to me, like the hardest parts of like doing this band are like the most exciting, because like I love challenging myself. It's like I don't like to stay in like one realm. It's like as a musician, I want to find new ways to explore. And then it's like every time you write something and it's like I come up with something new, I'm just like, wow, it's
Yeah,
like it's like your own school projects that you're giving yourself an A on,
you fail and you grow and you make it better. You
Mhm.
mentioned the hardest part of being, I would have to say, carrying gear, carrying
Yeah.
amplifiers. I have a
These
herniated disc. I have two herniated
these
discs.
amps are a lot heavier than they look.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
they're
Yeah.
like people. You're carrying people.
Ironically, the bigger amps are actually the lightest. So you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, because they're just the cabinets in
Yeah,
there.
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel your pain, lugging camera gear around all
Yeah.
day, every day, and my bass, and yeah, I know how that goes. So what if there's one thing that you guys could see happen from what you guys do? Like if you guys could change the world for that, we ask everybody this, so don't feel like I'm putting you on the spot. What is one of the things that if you guys could change about the world for the better and leave this as a better place, what's one of the things that you do?
Mm. I would say definitely have a a single or an album that doesn't really just speak to something that can help us as a band, but that becomes a conversation with the whole world about something that we stand for, something that I want to people to become aware of, like you know, basically like we are the world. We I
Yeah.
really wanted to I appreciate artists that have this sense of humanity behind their creative flow. And if it resonates with everybody and then everybody recognized that song more than for the artist, but because of the message, I to me is something that it would be a dream come true
Just like
for
something
us.
that really stands the test of time.
Yeah.
It's like it still holds up like generations and
Something that
generations on.
transcends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
much more that I want a song that we write to be like, that's that perfect sequence song. I want it to be that's that song about this cause, and people from all languages know that song and love that song.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is a very noble quest, and I wish you guys the best of luck on that. And
Thank you.
we will absolutely pray for that end for you guys. Seriously, we will send those positive vibes your way, man. Most certainly.
I appreciate it. We are actually writing new material right now. We're at the studio. We're recording. Yeah.
So this will be another album or another project, or
At the moment, we haven't decided whether we're going to be releasing singles or an EP altogether, but or a record. But yeah, we are already in the recording process of the songs.
so. With that being said, how do people find you guys, and where would you send them so that they can check out your music, so that they can get connected with you and follow you guys, and then also so that they can hire you?
I would say definitely get with us. You can reach us at perfectsequencemusic@gmail.com. And that's send us a message if you want to book us. But to anybody that wants to see the content, we have a YouTube channel. um, we have our music videos there. We have all of them. I sent you two, but we
Mhm.
have a lot more there. We have live performances. We are on Facebook as Perfect Sequence, as well as Perfect Sequence Music on Instagram and on TikTok.
I appreciate you guys coming in today. Thanks so much for being kind enough to share your story. And I know this was kind of a last minute thing, but that's one thing we didn't cover. We didn't talk about it. We'll do that again. We didn't. We just filmed a music video together.
Yes, we did.
We've done several
Yeah.
projects together. So, and we're going to continue to do that. But thanks so much for joining us today, guys. You guys, I promise I will put their information either on the screen right here or it'll be down in the comments below. But thanks so much for joining us today on The Greater Good. And you know that you can connect with us at guerrillamedia.tv and go to the Greater Good section. There's a full page and a tab, and you can see all the people that we're working with and all the things that we're going to do. You can reach us by calling us at 239-450-5357, and you can connect with me, but you probably want to connect with Hope because she's just a better person than I am anyway. But she's way more fun to talk to, Hope Daily. But you can find us all over the place. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Podcast, or Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon, Pandora, Facebook, LinkedIn. Thanks so much to Tim and Diana today here at Studio 239 for always accommodating us and just making this is just an amazing studio. If you have need for podcasts or anything like that for your business or for your
endeavor.
nonprofit,
Oh yeah,
nonprofit,
Yeah.
your
organization.
business, any organization. Yeah, please check them out. And I want to leave you with this, like we always do. What are you going to do today to affect the greater good? How can you make the world a better place and leave it better than you found it? Have a great day.